My name is Juan Romero, this is SwitchWatch, and welcome to our Gris review. Let's get straight into the story. In Gris, much like the recent Abzu that I reviewed, there isn't a spoken word in the game. The story here is a visual experience and a visual narrative. Games such as Journey, Abzu and now Gris are really games that I personally enjoy. They're so chilled, and after a day's hard graft, they are games which really take you to another place. While that is true of this game, the subject matter is a serious one. Mental health is still very misunderstood. Depression, for example, is a serious issue, and I like that this game was about tackling such problems. Our protagonist has had a painful trauma, and as you explore more of the world, it becomes more apparent that she's been through some pain here. This is about that journey and how to bring colour back into the girl's world and for her to become stronger emotionally. It's certainly a story which hooks you and will propel you forward. In terms of gameplay in these games, it's always quite difficult to judge purely because the games are about taking you on that journey, which means none of it is really that taxing or challenging. There are no difficulty options and there's no dying and certainly no danger. Some may say that that's not for you, but here it's all about offering a chilled visual musical experience with more of a visual narrative. Gameplay is often more of a secondary consideration, which might sound strange, but that's the very nature of these types of games, although here there is more to it than say a game like Journey, in that the game offers more in terms of puzzles while still keeping that Journey type vibe. Sure, this offers a little more in that you will unlock moves throughout your journey, like a double jump or the protagonist's dress turning into an immovable square, which does really come in handy when you don't want to get blown away by wind, for example. Now, the main character here is nice to control, and you can move her left or right in this 2D scrolling world, and often there'll be light puzzles to solve which involve collecting little balls of light which follow you and may need a certain number to use the little lights to form a platform to get to another part of the level, or a certain number of these balls of light to get to the next section. I like to think of them as stars, and as you collect each star you can use them to form pre-configured constellations, or more accurately asterisms. As you move away from these constellations, the little stars will follow you again until ultimately you reach the end of the level and the stars fly into the sky and form a permanent constellation. As you add more into the sky, it starts to form something which of course I'm not going to spoil here. Boss battles do await, well, kind of, but not in the traditional sense. Here you need to use the boss to get further, for example a large bird which produces a higher screech and strong wind with it. Here you have to use it to get to ledges otherwise unreachable. Now, other highlights and a massive part of the game is unlocking the colours as you progress. You start with a very blank white canvas, and when you unlock a colour it starts to integrate into everything on screen, which looks absolutely fantastic. In terms of the audio here, it's quite sublime, so understated but powerful when it needs to be. Elegant, a score which exudes class, where a set of headphones to listen to every note. For me, it doesn't quite reach the score which was produced by Abzu, but it's still very, very good and I enjoyed it a lot. What I loved the most though was just how atmospheric it was and how that made me feel. Visually though, what can I say here? It's wonderfully designed. It's probably one of the best games, certainly indie, that I've seen in a while. Seeing though is really believing, and it's also delicate. Nothing is overbearing. The little detailed animations bring everything to life. The little fish swimming in the water sections to the wonderful colour changes when you unlock a colour. Everything is hand drawn frame by frame with the animation, and it really shows. It felt to me like the makers of this game drew quite a bit of inspiration from the inside of a mechanical watch or stars and constellations. What I really liked was how the game begins to use more of that colour palette the more colours you unlock throughout the game. It's so smartly implemented, looks great to the eye, nothing is harsh or oversaturated, and I didn't come across any performance issues either in docked mode or in handheld. Now, in terms of value here, this particular game is $20.99 for our friends in the US, or £14.49 for those of you in the UK. Now, whenever Devolver Digital choose to publish a game, you can usually bet its quality, and here it's no different. The developer Nomada Studio have done a great job with this game. You can choose to unlock some of the extra challenges throughout the game for that extra bit of replay value if you wish, but I'm not sure that this will make people replay the game after they've completed it. For me, this was a one-ticket experience only. I enjoyed the experience, but once it was over, I was ready to move forward. Much like our protagonist in this story, you just want to move on. That's not to say that this was a bad game in any way. Far from it. It's just not one that really holds that much replay value. In terms of the verdict then, this is a game for those who want more of a chilled out experience, who can take their time and enjoy this journey of a girl facing a trauma and taking that emotional journey together. I would not have a problem paying the entry fee for this one, as I enjoyed it thoroughly from start to finish. With Gris's fabulous art design and musical score, it certainly pulls you into its world, but that's not to say it's for everyone. Those wanting a more challenging game will need to look elsewhere, but for me, 8.5 out of 10. If you enjoyed this review, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, then leave a thumbs down. And if you're a new watcher, then why not hit that subscribe button to check out what reviews we've got coming next time. Those of you that want to watch another review that can't get enough of SwitchWatch reviews, then I've got 3 here for you to choose from. My name's Juan Romero. Take care. I'll see you again on the next one.